Okay, let's get stuck into this huge Europa League semifinal first leg. We've got Athletic Bilbao versus Manchester United.
May 1st, Estadio San Mamés. What a venue for it.
Absolutely. And the stakes are just massive, aren't they? A place in the final, which is also at San Mamés, incredibly.
Yeah, that's a huge factor. Plus, potential Champions League football on the line. And they'll face either Spurs or Bodo Glimt if they get there.
Right. Now, the history between these two. It's not extensive, but it's definitely memorable when they have clashed.
Oh, for sure. Those past meetings have thrown up some real drama. Proper European nights.
You think back to '57, the European Cup quarterfinal. United went through 6-5 on aggregate.
But they lost 5-3 in Bilbao first. Had to pull it back at Old Trafford 3-0. Shows how tough San Mamés was even then.
Exactly. Then fast forward to 2012, Europa League round of 16. That Bielsa-led Athletic side.
Wow. They were phenomenal, weren't they? Won 3-2 at Old Trafford, then 2-1 back home. Just brilliant.
So head-to-head, Athletic actually lead 3-1. That might surprise a few people.
It does add a bit of spice, doesn't it? Especially those wins for Athletic. They'll remember those. It tells you United haven't found it easy there historically.
Precisely. And that's kind of what we're digging into now. Let's break down this specific matchup.
Okay, let's start with Athletic Bilbao. Their current form, well, it's looking really good.
Fourth in La Liga, yeah. Basically got Champions League wrapped up. And they just won 1-0 against Las Palmas. Solid.
And their Europa League run has been strong, too. Finished second in the group, then knocked out Roma.
Which wasn't easy.
No, definitely not. 4-3 aggregate there. Then Rangers, 2-0 aggregate. Pretty efficient.
And look at their recent overall form, just one loss in the last 10 games. That's consistency.
It really is. 5 wins, 4 draws in that run. And what stands out is the defense.
Yeah, 3 goalless draws in there. Tells a story. They're hard to break down.
And when you mix that defensive strength with their home form in this competition.
Well, it's formidable, isn't it? Unbeaten in the last 6 Europa League games at San Mamés.
4 clean sheets in those 6 as well. But they're scoring, too, averaging almost, 2.7 goals per game?
And this season, they've won every single Europa League home game. 6 out of 6. That's a fortress.
It really is. And a huge part of that is Nico Williams. He's been electric at home.
Hasn't he just? Involved in a goal in every home game in this run. 5 goals, 2 assists. He clearly loves playing there.
And the cathedral. The stadium itself, that atmosphere.
Legendary. It genuinely lifts them, makes it so intimidating for visitors.
Plus, that carrot of the final being in Bilbao. Imagine winning it on home soil. Only 4 clubs have ever done that in UEFA competitions.
The motivation must be off the charts.
So, summing up Athletic strengths, incredible home record, defensive solidity, only 26 goals conceded in La Liga, just 6 in Europe.
That Vivian and Paredes partnership at center back looks strong.
Very strong. Then you've got the Williams brothers, Nico and Inaki, plus maybe Guruzeta up front. Plenty of threat. And that desire for a home final, huge.
But there are always weaknesses, right? Yeah. And the big one for Athletic is Oyan Sanset being out.
Oh, definitely. Hamstring injury. Their top scorer, 17 goals, 3 assists. That's a massive hole to fill.
Huge. And there's a doubt over Yuri Bercic, too, the left back. Calf problem.
Yeah, so Ader Leque might have to step in. He's decent, but, any disruption to a settled defense isn't ideal.
And without Sanset, we saw those 3 goalless draws recently. Does it hint they might sometimes lack that cutting edge without him?
It's possible, yeah. They might miss his creativity and goals in tight moments.
And then there's the sort of historical pressure. They've lost both Europa League finals they've reached before.
Yeah.
77 and 2012.
That's true. That final step has eluded them. Does that add pressure, especially at home? Maybe.
So, key players for Athletic we need to keep an eye on. Obviously, Nico Williams.
Absolutely. His pace, his directness. Then in midfield, Ruiz de Galarreta. He brings that calm, controls the tempo.
And the keeper, Aguirre Zabala.
Yeah, he's been good. Made some important saves. Could be busy.
Okay, let's switch focus. Manchester United. The league form. Well, it's a totally different story.
Yeah, 14th in the Premier League. Haven't won a league game since mid-March. That's not good.
Recent losses to Newcastle 4-1 and Bournemouth 2-1. Confidence must be fragile.
You'd think so, domestically at least, but it feels like their entire season now rests on the Europa League.
It has to, right? It's their shot at a trophy and, crucially, that Champions League spot.
And to be fair, their Europa League campaign itself has been, well, unbeaten.
7 wins, 5 draws. Impressive run. They had that extra knockout round after finishing 3rd in the group.
And they showed real grit, didn't they? Coming back against Real Sociedad, and then that absolutely wild tie against Lyon.
7-6 on aggregate. What a roller coaster that was.
It really was. Showed their attacking threat, but also some serious defensive worries.
Yeah, conceding 6 over 2 legs. And their away form in general has been a bit shaky, hasn't it? Only 2 wins in the last 4 on the road.
Athletic will definitely look to pounce on that at San Mamés.
But looking at United's strengths, they do have firepower. Most shots, most touches in the box in the Europa League this season.
Bruno Fernandes has been central to that. 5 goals in the competition, 4 in the last 3 games alone. He steps up in Europe.
And Højlund gives them that presence up front, a real focal point.
And like we saw against Lyon, they have that comeback spirit. They don't seem to know when they're beaten sometimes. That's vital in knockout ties.
Plus experience, right. This is their 18th European semifinal. They've generally done okay, won 8, lost 9.
And recently, their record's pretty good. Won 5 of the last 6 semifinals they've been in.
And they know they've got that second leg at Old Trafford to come. They've scored 9 goals in the last 2 home knockout legs there.
That's a huge safety net, potentially. But
Potential.
injuries, that's the massive cloud hanging over them right now.
It really is. Lisandro Martínez, Dalot, key defenders all out.
Yeah, and Xerxes, Diallo, Collier, Heaven, the list goes on. It forces their hand, especially at the back. We're probably looking at Euro, Maguire, Lindelof.
That feels vulnerable,
Mm-hmm.
especially after Lyon, where they shipped 4 goals in extra time alone.
It does. And Onana in goal has had a couple of iffy moments recently, too. Against Athletic's pace, any mistake could be punished.
And we mentioned the away form. Plus, they've got Brentford in the league between the 2 legs. Athletic play Real Sociedad, but maybe United rotate more. Still, it's a distraction.
Definitely a potential drain, physically and mentally.
So, key men for United has to be Fernandes, surely. Goals, assists, leadership.
Absolutely vital. Then Maguire, often criticized, but he does have experience in these big games, and he's a threat from set pieces. His semifinal record isn't bad either.
And young Lenny Yoro at the back? What a test for him against this Athletic attack.
Huge test. He'll need to step up massively with all those injuries around him.
Okay, tactics. How do we see this playing out? Athletic first, Valverde's approach.
Pretty standard for them, I'd expect. That 4-2-3-1, they'll want possession, press high, try to win back quickly.
Ruiz de Galarreta and Jorge Guizar anchoring the midfield.
Probably. Then the Williams brothers, causing chaos out wide. They'll target United's fullbacks, whoever plays there, likely Mazraoui and Dorger.
And up front, without Sanset,
Right.
Rosetta maybe, for his hold-up play.
Makes sense. Bring the wingers into play. And watch out for set pieces. Vivian's a real danger in the air.
And United. Amorim likely goes with a back 3-4-2-1.
Seems logical, yeah. Try to match Athletic physically. Euro, Maguire, Lindelof at the back. Maybe Ugarte and Casemiro sitting deeper in midfield.
To shield the defense, try and handle Nico Williams.
Exactly. Then Fernandes and maybe Garnacho playing off Højlund. The plan will likely be soak up pressure, stay solid, and hit them fast on the break. Use Fernandes' vision, Højlund's runs.
Some fascinating individual battles there. Nico Williams against Mazraoui.
Oh, yeah. Dribbling flair versus defensive solidity. That could be key.
And in the middle, Fernandes trying to create against the discipline of Ruiz de Galarreta.
That's the engine room battle, isn't it? Whoever gets on top there has a big advantage.
And Maguire versus Guruzeta in the air, especially from corners and free kicks.
Big physical contest there. Could decide things.
So looking around, what's the general feeling? What are people predicting?
Well, there's a definite sense that Athletic are slight favorites for this first leg. You know, the home form, San Mamés, United's injuries. It all points that way.
But United being unbeaten in Europe counts for something.
It does. It means you can't write them off. They find a way. Most predictions seem to suggest a tight game, maybe low scoring. A stalemate isn't out of the question.
Interesting. So considering all that,
Yeah.
what's your call for the first leg scoreline?
Taking everything into account. Athletic's amazing home record, how solid they are defensively, Nico Williams being such a threat.
And United's injury list.
Exactly. That tips the balance slightly for me, especially in Bilbao. United have that resilience. Fernandes can produce magic. Maguire is experienced. There'll be dangers on the counter.
But the home crowd, the fresher legs, maybe for Athletic?
I think those factors will just about edge it for Athletic in this first leg. I expect it to be close, maybe cagey at times.
Okay, nail your colors to the mast. Score prediction.
I'm going for Athletic Bilbao 2, Manchester United 1.
Okay. Where do the goals come from?
I could see Nico Williams getting one, maybe exploiting that right flank of United's defense. And then perhaps Inaki Williams or Guruzeta from a set piece or a quick break.
And for United?
Has to be Bruno Fernandes, doesn't it? Maybe a free kick, maybe a penalty. He finds ways to score in this competition.
So the reasoning is basically home advantage and United's weakened defense tilting it slightly Athletic's way.
Pretty much. Athletics organization, home intensity, and Williams' pace just give them the edge, I think. But that Fernandes goal for United, crucial away goal, sets up the second leg perfectly.
Right. And just finally, what are the absolute critical factors we should watch for? The things that could swing it either way.
Number one has to be those United injuries, especially at the back. How vulnerable are they down that right side against Nico Williams without Martínez and Dalot? That feels massive.
And Athletic missing Sancet. How much does that blunt their attack?
It's significant, but maybe less so at home, where the crowd and tempo can carry them. Then there's the San Mamés factor itself. The noise, the final being held there.
Does that intensity help or hinder Athletic? Could United's big game experience handle it better?
That's the question. United have been in these pressure cookers before. And finally, remember the second leg. A one-goal loss wouldn't be a disaster for United going back to Old Trafford, given their record there.
True. Makes for a really intriguing tactical battle in this first leg. Maybe neither side wants to give too much away.
Could be. It feels incredibly finely balanced, small moments, individual quality. That's likely what will decide it.
So Bilbao sets the stage. Athletic maybe with a slight edge on paper at home, given the circumstances, but United are still unbeaten in this competition.
It's perfectly poised, isn't it? That second leg at Old Trafford already feels like it could be epic, whatever happens here.
Definitely. So thinking about everything we've covered, Athletics' fortress, United's injuries, but also their European grit, what single thing do you think will be the most decisive factor in who ultimately reaches that final